Back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Grizzly Digital Network. We are going to dive right into our player introductions here, and we will turn things over to the public address announcer here at the Grizzly soccer field, and Taylor Eisenberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the starters for tonight's contest. First up for Young Harris. In goal, number 27, Pedro Ozzi. Number 2, Jonas Sturson. Number 6, Omero Perez. Number 7, Karam Shazad. Number 8, Lewis Hilton. Number 9, Ilja Illich. Number 11, Alex Wiper. Number 13, Kevin Sosa. Number 15, William Schoenfeld. Number 17, Eric Holland. And number 19, Tim Toringer. The Mountain Lions are coached by Mark McKeever. And now, it's time to meet the starters for your Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies. In goal, a freshman from Newcastle, England, number 1, Louis Sharp. On defense, a senior from Guatemala City, Guatemala, number 2, Jose Figueroa. On defense, a freshman from Groningen, Netherlands, number 3, Ruud Grohl. On defense, a senior from Miami, Florida, number 6, Alex Joseph. At midfield, a senior from Bogota, Colombia, number 8, Andres Milano. At forward, a senior from Jarabacoa, Dominican Republic, number 12, Johan Sanchez. At forward, a sophomore from Lawrenceville, Georgia, number 13, Martin Lugo. At midfield, a sophomore from Norcross, Georgia, number 15, Ibrahima Sissoko. At midfield, a sophomore from Tegucigalpa, Honduras, number 16, German Rodriguez. At midfield, a senior from Kumba, Cameroon, number 17, Rene Anang. And on defense, a junior from Lauderhill, Florida, number 22, Patrick DaCosta. The Grizzlies are coached by Steve DeCoo. He's assisted by Kevin May, Ben Callum, Jorge Vallejo, Tom Butler, and Greg Hartley. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, here to the Grizzly Digital Network. I'm the voice of the Grizzlies, Matt Mahoney. Glad to have you here on a beautiful night from just outside the Atlanta metro area. Temperatures will be in the 70s, calm winds as the summer is far behind us. The winter is in front of us, and the temperatures could not be any better to celebrate a night of soccer. We'll kick this game off under the lights here in Lawrenceville, Georgia, as it will be the Grizzlies in the home white uniforms with green letters and numbers. Meanwhile, Young Harris will be in purple uniforms, white shorts, purple socks, letters and numbers in white as well. The Grizzlies will move right to left here in the first half. Meanwhile, the Mountain Lions will go left to right. Young Harris will want to possess this ball. They want to have multiple touches, multiple crisp, clean passes to their teammates, keep it away from the opponents here. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are going to want to get out in space. So taking care of the ball is going to be very important in this game. Grizzlies are going to be ultra aggressive as they have been all season long, especially on perhaps some through balls, switching the fields. Expect the linesmen to get their work in this evening, raising the flags up with some tough offsides calls. Young Harris, no slouch, the 11th ranked team in the NCAA. Meanwhile, Georgia Gwinnett climbing the NAI poll, just receiving votes outside of the top 25. Moments away here from kickoff. We're glad to have everybody aboard. As emotions will be high, the Grizzlies looking to seek revenge from just one of their 2 losses last season. Meanwhile, Young Harris comes in with a hot slate, looking to keep it even hotter. Referee checks with his counterparts, blows the whistle. And we're underway here. Grizzlies will work right to left here again. They'll run the traditional 4-3-3 underneath head coach Steve DeCoop. Long ball all the way to the end line there as Johan Sanchez quickly gets into the act. Across the back for Georgia Gwinnett, the center backs will be Alex Joseph and Ruud Grohl. Left back will be Patrick DaCosta. Right back will be Jose Figueroa. Toward the interior midfield, you're going to have the 3-headed monster there of Rene Anang, German Rodriguez, and Andres Milano. And then your 3 strikers up top looks like Martin Lugo will be the target man in the middle. Sanchez will flank to the right, and it will be Sissoko flanked to the left. Young Harris winning the ball in the midfield here. Milanos gets a turnover. Finds Rodriguez. He's surrounded by Poper shirts here, and there's a turnover. Young Harris will be quickly to spread the ball around the pitch. Really swarm that Georgia Gwinnett attack, trying to confine the speed of the Grizzlies, make them possess it, make them advance forward with the ball on the ground. If the Grizzlies get out and run in space without the ball, it could be danger. Long throw in here for the Grizzlies, or excuse me, for the Mountain Lions. Toward the attacking half. Can't forget Lewis Sharp there, back underneath the sticks for the Grizzlies. He's going to rock the red tonight from head to toe. Young Harris, ball played toward the box here, headed away by Milano. Ball around the 18-yard box, and Nang forces the header in the wrong direction. Here's a boot toward the box again here. Milano gets a header back to Grohl, and Grohl with a strong left foot there. The Grizzlies will get a clearance. Lugo's going to chase it down here. An errant touch for the Mountain Lions by Sturson. Sophomore to Sweden. It'll be a throw-in for the Grizzlies. They get it in quickly. Rodriguez will drop it back to Joseph. Joseph chips it up top. Lugo sandwiched between a couple of purple shirts. It'll roll off the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Mountain Lions. You heard Coach DeCoux talk about a little shell-shocked the first 20 minutes last year. Once it settled into the contest, it was a beautiful game. Grizzlies were on the wrong side of a tie ball game at 1-1 when the penalty kick was awarded for Young Harris in the 67th minute in North Georgia, and suffered the loss on the year. Both losses last year for the Grizzlies, this is rather interesting, was against top 10 teams. One of them out of the NAIA in Auburn-Montgomery. Check that loss off the list, as the Grizzlies have already beaten Auburn-Montgomery this season, 1-0. And then last year, Young Harris was the 6th-ranked team in the NCAA Division II. So a chance to check that box off to avenge a loss from last year. In goal for the Mountain Lions, I believe, is number 27, Pedro. Oriza. Trying to get a confirmation. It is either Oriza. Sophomore, 5'6". Try that again. 6'5" out of Brazil. Had one appearance last season, but has been their man this season. Ariza has appeared in 8 games, started in 6 of them. He's logged over 600 minutes, giving up a 1.16 goal against average, 27 saves, and all 7 wins for the Mountain Lions have been to his credit. DaCosta drops it back to goal, and goal hands it off to Sissoko. Chips it up here, and it's a turnover. We'll find the hands of Perez. Perez, a good footballer, is wearing that interior midfielder position. Just a freshman out of Carlton, Georgia. But a very skilled one. He's somewhat of that transitional role player that's going to feed the offense through the defense. Defense is going to try to find him to really make the key decisions for this young Harris team to get things going in the right direction. Here's a long ball down the far side. Figueroa has position and touches it away. Pass was intended for Shazad, the junior out of England. A couple of names you won't be hearing on the broadcast here. Paco Craig, one of their center backs, a freshman out of England, will not be playing in this contest, as the Mountain Lions have a couple of players out due to cards. One, a 5 yellow card accumulation, the other a red card from the Carson Newman game. Also been told a couple of injury bugs that they're almost everybody gets hits with this time of year, including George Gwinnett. So maybe not Young Harris at 100% here tonight. But when you're the 11th ranked team in the country, that target is always going to be on your back, and you're getting the best shot from everybody. And the Grizzlies will indeed have that punch. There's a ball to the back post. Sharp calls everybody off it and hauls it in nicely. Sharp will play it short as they move things out of the back. Rodriguez down the left side here to Sissoko. A couple of touches for him so far here in the first 10 minutes or so. Rodriguez will switch the field. Sanchez tries to settle, puts one toward the box, trying to go around his defender. Cannot, but applies enough pressure. Will he be granted a corner kick for his Grizzlies? Sanchez using athletic ability there to the far side. I believe that's Cravey. And knocked it away. 5'9" sophomore to Cartersville. Great crowd on hand tonight, too. Got a couple of youngsters. The general in the house as well. Great to see him, as always, on a beautiful Saturday night. Ball to the back door looking for Grohl. Not sure if he kept it in or not. Play continues here as Nang chases it down, knocks it off a blue shirt, as the Grizzlies will keep it deep into Young Harris territory. Grohl will size things up here. Looking for a long throw in. An arcer to the near post here. It's going to hit behind the goalkeeper. Sanchez comes crashing in, but we get a whistle here as the goalkeeper and Oriza was pushed. Excuse me, Ozzy. So Ozzy there, pushed from behind just a hair. So a foul called against the Grizzlies. Also want to make a programming note as well here for those of you who are watching on the Grizzly Digital Network. Normally you can pull the live broadcast up on the left side of your screen there and have live stats on the right. That is not going to be available here tonight. Just a one circumstance situation. However, our good friends over at Young Harris, their sports information staff, they are here on site and they are doing live stats themselves. So roundabout way, get on grizzlyathletics.com. There's going to be a link on that article that's the preview to this game between Young Harris and Georgia Gwinnett. Click on that preview all the way down to the bottom. You'll see the classic. Click here for the live broadcast with yours truly. Right underneath that, it's going to say for live stats, click here. Just click that link there. You can also find it on Young Harris's website, which is yhcathletics.com. So either route you want to go there, you're just going to have to get the live stats a little bit different way than what you're normally used to. Again, this isn't a permanent change. This is just sort of a one-shot deal. Our assistant athletic director, Ned Colgrove, is not in the house here tonight, and rightfully so. His sister getting married, so he made the trip back home and spent some quality time with his family. So we appreciate the Young Harris athletic staff chipping in and helping each other out. Offsides call on Lugo there. First one of the day for the Grizzlies of many. We're just 10 minutes into this contest, 0-0. One corner kick for the Grizzlies, 2 for the Mountain Lions. Here's a through ball to Lugo. Lugo's in behind the defense, too far for the keeper to come out. Lugo comes out, left foot, yes sir! Martin Lugo in the 10th minute brings home the first goal of the game for the Grizzlies as they lead 1-0. A beautiful through ball played from the midfield. I believe that was Johan on the far side. Bled the defense as Lugo sliced right through it as the Grizzlies are on top 1-0. The goal for Lugo will be his 6th of the season. He will tie Renee Anang in that category with a team lead in 6. If indeed that was Johan with the assist, Johan picks up his team leading 5th assist of the year. So right on pace there. Coach was expecting Sissoko and Renee to have some big games. Wanting to know who that goal scorer was, as I believe now that's Lugo on a little bit of a streak here. Lugo has now scored in 3 of the last 4 games for the Grizzlies. So Martin doing very well for the Grizzlies here as of recently, as Georgia Gwinnett has won 4 of our last 5 contests. Lugo scored the first goal last Saturday versus Tennessee Wesleyan in the 17th minute. And now Lugo going to work here in the 10th with an early 1-0 lead. Goal comes streaking out of the back here. DaCosta ignores him. Indeed goes to Anang. Long ball played. Figueroa heads it right back into the mouth. Rodriguez with a one-timer there was denied. Drops it back to Alex Joseph, who just punches it forward and it'll trickle back to Young Harris's goalie. Hosey starts from the back here. Mount Lions rotating the ball. Ball played right toward DaCosta, and he's able to handle it. So one shot, it was on goal, and it was in the back of the net there for Martin Lugo, as he was able to get in behind the defense and poke one home. No official assist there, but I'm very confident that was Sanchez. Might have been Rodriguez there. I'm not exactly 100% sure who had that assist. But nice job there by the Grizzlies, get an early 1-0 lead. Watch for this team's confidence to just start oozing right out of their skin. Anang, bad pass there to Rodriguez. We've got to turn and run in the opposite direction here to get back and defend. Here comes Young Harris on the counterattack to the far side. Taking on Figueroa. Figueroa stops the corner from happening and now gets a deflection down by his feet and will clear it away. Excellent defending there by Figueroa. Had a tough task there going stride for stride with Karam Shazad, junior to England. Started in all 20 games last year for Young Harris. 6 goals and 6 assists. Now Shazad, one of the key role players of this team. He's played in all 8 games this year so far, started in 5 of them, and obviously gets to start tonight here with a couple of Mountain Lions missing. Here comes Young Harris here. Don't expect them to fold at all. They know what's on the line here. Ball played toward the middle here. Excellent possession by the Lions. Threw ball down the far side there. Joseph denies that opportunity. Now Lugo turns on the Jets again, applies tremendous pressure, goes crashing down to the ground, but Young Harris keeps the drive alive. Soko the pop up. Heading it out of danger is Toringer. Header by in Renee. Struck away. Young Harris just methodically moving the ball down the field 10 yards at a time via the throw-in. Holland started 10 yards on his own half of the field. He's advanced now 20 yards on the other half of the Grizzlies. Here's a ball struck away by Grohl there. Grohl seems to be okay, but that hit rather high on the thigh for Ruud. Doesn't seem to have missed a step. Ball on the far side for Shazad. Weaving his way through traffic, drops it back to Eilick. Tackle away by Figueroa. And again, some excellent dribbling ability here by Shazad, weaving his way through traffic. Beats a second, a third, and now here's a ball toward the box. Shot saved by Sharp. Still alive for Young Harris. Still into the box. They drop it back to the 18. Here's a chubby right foot, and it's going to go in. The right foot is stubbed off the turf, but gets enough for the rock, and it'll be beyond the reach of Lewis Sharp as Young Harris has tied it here in the 15th minute at 1-1. The loose ball squirted back out. I believe it was to Perez. We want to get a clarification on this. Indeed, number 6, Homero Perez, 5'8" freshman out of Carrollton. In his first year with Young Harris, nets his first goal of the season. So 15 minutes in, we've already got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. 2 corner kicks for Young Harris, 2 shots on goal. One of them is one in the back of the net. Meanwhile, GGC has themselves a goal. And they have themselves 1 corner kick and 1 shot on goal. Sanchez keeps it in, but then takes his man down, so it'll be a free kick for George Gwinnett. Hosey pokes it around midfield, and Ang will climb the ladder and head it back in the other direction. If you need any sort of doubt about how big of an athlete Renee Anang is, that was a prime definition of it right there. Trying to go with the full moon there. Rodriguez wants no part of it. Rodriguez will get it back. Plays to the midfield, looking for Anang. Anang pokes it in the near side. Sissoko cuts back toward the middle of the field, loses his dribble, and it's knocked away cleanly by Holland. Here comes Young Harris. Sissoko steals it right back. He'll go down the left flank here. Tackled away again by Holland. Sissoko still giving it chase. Dropped it off to Holland. Holland up the way. Denied by DaCosta. Finds the feet of Rodriguez. Short to Nang. Milano goes wide to Figueroa. He'll open up. Play the right foot forward, looking for Lugo. Can't do it. Stand corrected, it was not number 6. Must be watching this game from upside down. It was actually number 9, and the forward, Elijah Eilick. Eilick, a second-team all-conference member in the Tough Peach Belt last season. 6'2" junior out of Serbia. Has picked up right where he's left off. Leads the team with 7 goals. Now make it 8 on the season and 19 points. He's had already 1 game-winning goal in the season. And he has a big one here to equal things up in the first 15 minutes. 1-1 is your score. Grohl plays it forward, looking for Lugo on a lateral run. Struck away, and DaCosta keeps it in. Possession turned over to Young Harris. Milano comes away with a denial. Plays it long, too long there for Lugo. 2 shots total. For both these teams, both shots by Young Harris have been on goal. Ozzie boots it around midfield. He'll hit the turf. Grizzlies have a chance to get a sub into the game. It'll be number 19. And Juan Geraldo, freshman out of right here in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Looks like he will come into the game for Milano. So that 3-headed monster in the middle there with Geraldo, Rodriguez, and Anang. This will be the last home game in quite some time. All the way to box. Sharp comes out, secures it nicely. Be the last home game in quite some time for Georgia Gwinnett here, as they're going to go on a 6-game road trip over the rest of October. On the 11th at Tennessee Temple, on the 15th at Bob Jones, the 19th at Truett McConnell, 26th at Montreat, 29th at Cumberland, before coming back home on November 2nd against SCAD. So I guess 5-game road trip. The 6th game from now we'll be back here at home. A couple of programming notes. Want to give you guys some inside information while I'm kind of talking about it here. You won't find this on our website. You're only going to hear it on the Grizzly Digital Network, only because I love you so much. But that game, October 26th at Montreat, will have a broadcast, and we'll have all the information for you on our website, grizzlyathletics.com. But it won't be on the Grizzly Digital Network. It'll probably be on the Turbo Sports Network, a third-party affiliate company that picks a NAI game of the week every single week, part of the National Coaches Association. And so Turbo Sports will likely be the broadcast partner of that game at Montreat. But as always, stay tuned for more information on our website, grizzlyathletics.com. We'll officially announce and release that information as that date gets closer. But for the time being, after today in Lawrenceville, the Grizzlies will go to Chattanooga, Greenville, Cleveland, Georgia, Montreat, North Carolina, and Lebanon, Tennessee. So we'll put some miles on those wheels throughout the month of October. Then we'll return home on November 2nd against SCAD, who is receiving votes in the latest NAI coaches poll. Foul going to be issued there by Grohl, as Grohl came in with a strong header. And might want to check on the young man for Young Harris. Went down pretty hard and caught the butt of Grohl's forehead on the back of his head. Referee's going to stop the clock to give the young man a chance to regroup. However, they're going to hold off the medical staff. This has concussion-like symptoms written all over it. So the young man's slow to get up here, and now he will get some medical treatment from the trainer. Now the official's going to reel Grohl in here. I think this is where the aftermath of the violence and the injury that occurred supersedes the actual foul. Kind of like a good hit on a quarterback. And right as he let go of the football, and the quarterback ends up being hurt and gets taken out of the game. It was a clean hit, but it looks worse because the opposition was injured. So the referee is going over to Grohl and giving him some counseling. And again, no yellow card. The foul was the right play. It was the right call. But good thing for the official there to take the game in his own hands and explain the situation and control the contest with his whistle and not with his cards. Love that. But the young man for Young Harris is number 13. It's slow to get up and waltz off. That's Kevin Sosa, freshman. 5'8", 145 pounds out of Carrollton. He'll get a sub to step on for him. Appears to be number 20. As they readjust their lineup just a little bit. So stepping on will be Angel Salome. sophomore out of Atlanta. Ball played toward the box. Joseph denies. Alex Joseph's probably going to play a little bit better than he has on any normal day. Celebrated a birthday this week. I believe Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. He claimed he was 22 years old. I'll need to see some identification. Isn't the only one with a Grizzly with a birthday this week. More on that throughout the course of the broadcast. Rodriguez to an Ang. Swings it wide to Sanchez. Grizzlies have regrouped a little bit here as well with a sub. As out goes Jose Figueroa. They drop Johan Sanchez back to the right back position as Essie Barome will check in at that right striker position. And if you guessed it was Essie's birthday tomorrow, you would be either a relative of Essie or really in tune to our men's soccer program. Maybe you follow the guys on Twitter or something. But Essie will celebrate 21st birthday tomorrow, I believe. Other programming note, if you haven't had a chance, get on the Grizzly Digital Network there, click on the On Demand tab, and check out Essie's mic'd up session we had with him earlier this week at practice. We'll play that for you at halftime as well for some entertainment purposes. But appreciate Coach DeCou cooperating and Essie doing a good job. And Nang with another header. Now Joseph gets in on the act. Young Harris trying to settle, but they boot it forward. DaCosta searching for options, drops it back to goal. "25th minute here in the first half. 1-1 is your score. Grizzlies scored first in the 10th. Mountain Lions answered in the 15th. Turnover here for Anang. Anang carving up the defense here. Forward to Geraldo, looking for a through ball, can't connect with a Brume. Ball played dangerously across the face of the goal there, but Louis Sharpen's attack was all over his post there. We'll get a goal kick. DaCosta plays out of the back. Dumps it to Grohl. Across the way to Joseph. Up the way to Sanchez toward midfield. You can tell this is the point in the game where emotions came in rather high. Turnover by Nang. This is trouble. Here comes Young Harris back in the other direction. Possession. And Grohl with a great header there and a denial. Fantastic play there by Grohl to not allow that through ball. Here's Sissoko. Ball to the back. Essie trying to track it down. They'll keep it in play. All the way to the corner flag. Gets it knocked away, but it's a throw in for the Grizzlies. Also want to mention Essie. Message loud and clear from the Pops there. Dad, Essie delivered the message. We're gonna try to use Aburame a lot more than his nickname, which is actually a condensed version of his first name is Essie. I don't want to try to attempt his entire first name with his last name. Very unique, and rightfully so. That's exactly what Essie is, and so. The nickname there is stuck on the team with the coaching staff and his teammates with Essie, and so it's kind of the Brazilian motto in soccer there. No first name, no last name, just goes by one name, Essie. But Aburame it is there, Dad. We appreciate all of our friends, family, and I've been confirmed today. We had somewhat of a homecoming today for our alumni. We actually do have alumni that are here in the house. We had our development staff that set up a tent by the gate. Some great festivities and some great amenities for our alumni that have made the trip back here to Lawrenceville. So hello to our alumni that are out there. I was told that we do have alumni in just the second year of athletics. They do exist. They do listen, and we appreciate them. So we'll add them in there. Friends, family, and alumni tuned in here to the Grizzly Digital Network. Ball roll out of bounds on the far side. It'll be a throw-in for Purple. Sissoko and Holland petition for the throw-in, and judge will rule in favor of Holland. Ball played forward, but Grohl jumps it. Rodriguez in transition. He has time and space. Trying to play a through ball. Essie is onside. So is Lugo. Lugo will get the ball to the near corner. Go to left foot. Near post. Denied. It is struck away on a throw-in now for the Grizzlies and the attacking third. Excellent sequence there by Rodriguez. As most players get that ball in time and space, and they dribble too much. They dribble too far, so to speak. Use advantage of the time and space. Find a weakness in the defense. Use your spacing wisely and get an attack going. That's what Rodriguez did right there. Fantastic job. Young Harris quickly back the other way. Header won by Nang. Just hangs in the air forever. Look at him go. Joseph will let this roll all the way back. And he'll track it down as Sharp gives him the green light to turn. We're into the 30th minute here. 1-1 is your score. There have been 2 corner kicks for Young Harris, 1 for Georgia Gwinnett. 2 shots on goal for the Mountain Lions, just 1 for the Grizzlies. However, in the category that matters most, the score, it is 1-1. Young Harris holding the line here, allowing the Grizzlies to rotate the ball. Again, that is spoken like a true possession team that wants to take away the space for the Grizzlies. Pack it in a little bit here. Not nearly as drastic as what Reinhardt did. As a matter of fact, Young Harris already with 2 times the amount of offense that Reinhardt had in this contest at the same exact moment. Reinhardt had no shots on goal and no goals. But it's definitely a flavor of it that you're seeing from Young Harris. Grizzlies have learned from that loss to Reinhardt. And that loss, without a doubt, is keeping the Grizzlies out of that top 25 and just still receiving votes. However, it was good to know for the 4th week in a row that the rest of the NAIA coaches recognize the Grizzlies and what they have done so far this season. So that was a positive note. This thing's starting to get a little dicey, too, as well in the coach's poll. Sissoko goes right around Holland. Holland's going to drag him down by the arm. And so it'll be a free kick to Georgia Gwinnett. We're going to get a stoppage in play here, and I believe we're going to have our first booking. And this is a textbook here for Holland, as he was beat by the ball but not the man. One of the token slogans of any defender: I can be beat by the ball or the man, but never both, and that's exactly what Holland did there. Just grabbed Sissoko by the arm, prevented him to move forward, and so it will be a booking for number 17, Eric Holland, a freshman out of Sweden. A couple of places Young Harris starting to flirt a little bit with their yellow card count, as that will just be Holland's first of the year. Niall McCabe is the one with 5 yellow cards allotted on the season. We get a flag up on the far sideline here. Essie's going to head it, but I don't think it's going to matter. It'll be a Free kick is, I believe, a man was offsides on the far side. Just left a little early off the right foot of Rodriguez. But McCabe is not suited out here in this contest because of his accumulations of 5 yellow cards. Once you receive 5 yellow cards, you must sit the next game. So even if it's 5 sequential games or spread out over 10 games, or in this case 8 games, once you get that 5th one, rules say you must sit out for 1 game. There aren't too many Grizzlies that are fearful of that number just yet. Alex Joseph is allotted 3, and James Tube has 3 as well. So something to keep an eye on throughout the course of the regular season. Things will reset once you get to the postseason as they go back down to 0 in terms of accumulated cards and having to sit out of the suspension. Speaking of suspension, it's Paco Craig, one of the center backs for Young Harris, that was popped with the red card against Carson Newman. So he will not be available to play in this contest. Anang plays it wide to the far side. Coming back toward the middle. There's a left-footed strike right at the goalkeeper. Ozzie handled it well here. Ends up going straight short to Holland. That'll be the 2nd shot on goal officially in the game. This one's going to skim off the top of the head of Grohl there, and Grohl comes up with a nice shield to deflect away Shazad. Sharp will swing it to DaCosta. DaCosta hesitates, stops, hesitates again, now moves forward, knocks it out of bounds. Last touch by Purple. White throws it in, DaCosta goes short. Lugo touches it back to DaCosta. Lugo trying to leave his way through traffic. He gets plugged and turns it over. Sanchez uses his speed to step in front of an interception. Now beats one man. Spins almost to beat the second, but turns it over. Too much inertia. Sanchez still applying pressure here. Grizzlies trying to create a turnover. Sanchez hip for hip, stride for stride, now arm for arm, and they're going to allow them to play on. I believe that was an advantage call there. We saw a lot of arm from Sanchez, but he was just simply trying to shed off a defender that had roped him in. Sissoko now gets a turnover on his part. Left foot toward Lugo. Unable to connect, and Ozzie will come up with. Alex Joseph got ball first there as he squirted it away from a mountain line. Good tackle on his part, as Wiper wanted a foul. Geraldo comes in strong. Now too much English there. Unable to handle by Young Harris. Is even too much English for Sanchez as he just knocks it away. Young Harris will throw it in. This Young Harris team, no slouch at all. The 11th ranked team in the NCAA Division II ranks. They returned 5 starters from last year, including their top 3 scorers. However, one of them, McCabe, not playing in this contest for the aforementioned reasons. As Eilick picked up his team-leading 8th goal of the year in the 15th minute to tie this ball game up at 1. Alex Wiper, last season, had himself this is his first season for Wiper there at Escalon. He leads the team this season in a couple of categories, but 3rd in goals with 5. Here's a strike again, away by Golden. Now here's a right foot up and over the crossbar on a rebound by Shazad. That was an excellent boot there that just scrapes over the top of the crossbar. Still tied at 1 here in the 35th minute. Something worth noting here for Young Harris, if we even get this game tied at halftime, or my favorite, stealing the halftime locker room, Young Harris has outscored their opponents in the second half 16-4 this season. Understandably so, with a fantastic record at 7-1. You're going to outscore some some teams. They've outscored their opponent just 8-3 in the first half, but 16-4 in the second half is something else. So perhaps Young Harris saving some in the tank and making those halftime adjustments. Coach McKeever knows what he's doing. His 8th year of the program. Has made the transition for Young Harris from a junior college to a 4-year NCAA school. Ball won by Eilick. Sanchez clears it out of the defensive third there, trying to find a Brome. Brome settles, but surrounded by purple shirts. Here's a long ball to the back, though. Here, DeCosta's all over it. And Sharp will come help. The game has definitely fit the billing here in the first half. 1-1 tie score here. 38th minute. These two teams went toe-to-toe last year. Tied 1-1, and then it was a penalty kick in the 67th minute that resulted in all sorts of bookings and chaos and ultimately a loss for the Grizzlies here. So, don't know if revenge is the word, but definitely some retaliation is in store for the Grizzlies to be motivated in this contest for sure. They went toe-to-toe with the 6th-ranked team in the country and just lost by 1 on the road. So a chance at redemption. That's probably a better word, not retaliation or revenge. Redemption is the R word we were looking for. Young Harris applying the pressure here right before halftime, trying to steal the halftime locker room, which I love so much. Ball still being possessed in the back half for the Grizzlies, trying to move forward here. 39th minute. Chance to find the right combination. Even with Young Harris's impressive stat outscoring their opponent in the second half 16-4, the Grizzlies this year have fared well in games tied at halftime. They are 3-1 on the year with games that are tied at halftime, and that one is an overtime loss to Reinhardt. So lesson learned there for sure, as the Grizzlies were tied with Oklahoma City 0-0 at halftime, won that game 3-1. They were tied with Auburn Montgomery at halftime, 0-0, won that game 1-0. And they were tied with One other game I'm missing here. Another goal struck there by Young Harris. It's off the post. They still apply the pressure. Sanchez with a takedown there. No, it's a dive. Cost on the back post now. Clears things out of danger. Let's try this again. Scoreless contest at halftime against Oklahoma City. Georgia Gwinnett won 3-1. Scoreless contest at halftime against Auburn Montgomery. Georgia Gwinnett won 1-0. Oh, here it is. 2-2 ball game at halftime with SCAD. Georgia Gwinnett went on to win 3-2 in overtime. Ibrahima Sissoko with the winner. So 3-1 record. The Grizzlies this season when tied at halftime. Rodriguez will come on for Lugo. Here in the 42nd minute. Geraldo with a poke forward. Anang skims off the top of his head, and now another man is down. This is Holland. Holland collided heads there with Anang. He is definitely holding his head pretty tough. And Holland is no softy for sure. Looks like he's had some sort of arm or elbow problems or surgery, as he is a heavily braced left elbow. So, tough cookie is Holland. Again, rises up and wins that hitter nicely. Grohl moving forward. Gets a little bit of pressure there from Jazad. Too much pressure for my comfort there for Grohl to be so casual. But that's why Grohl is out there and I'm up here. Grohl steps in front of another excellent pass there. Rodriguez in the midfield. Looking far side. Can't connect with Toombs. Eilick. Scrubbed one this way to Wiper. Punched up by Holland. Grohl uses his head to capitalize on his buddy and Sharp. .43rd minute. We're still tied at 1 as we approach halftime. Grohl play along. Headed out of danger by Young Harris. Rodriguez just pooches it all the way back to Sharp. Try and get a reset here with 90 seconds left to play here till halftime in a 1-1 ball game. This is a matchup of Young Harris, the 11th ranked team in NCAA Division II, who is 3-0 in Peach Belt play, very competitive conference. And the Georgia Gwinnett Grizzlies are receiving votes in the NAIA Top 25 poll. And we don't play in a conference. And that's by choice. They can be to your advantage at times. Sharp comes off his end line there and cuts off the diagonal ball there to
1 minute remaining.
Gustafsson. As we're inside a minute here, in the 45th minute, no stoppage time. The official time is kept on the scoreboard, and you know my opinion about that. Tied at 1. It looks like we're going to motor on into this halftime with coaches and adjustments that need to be made. It's been a great game so far here, as both teams have bagged themselves a goal early on too. Things have settled in here nicely. You could probably lean the seesaw in the direction of Young Harris, who's had more opportunities than Georgia Gwinnett. But it's not about how many opportunities you get, and perhaps how many times you capitalize on those opportunities. Here's a foul committed by Sanchez. As the clock will count down in 10 minutes here, the Horn will make it a final as the Mountain Lions scramble to try to get something on the board. Horn will make it final. Does the goal count? As Young Harris did indeed scramble to get something going. They got a header on the back post. as it went into the net, but saved by the bell was the Grizzlies as the halftime horn made it official, and we are tied at 1. Coach DeCoux not happy with the results of that sequence. Luckily, it doesn't count as a goal, but the Grizzlies definitely lost focus there for about 12 seconds, and it could have cost them the game. So, we're at halftime here. 1-1 is your score. We will step aside here, and we'll have the latest installment of the Grizzly Digital Network with Essie Aburume, who was mic'd up at practice earlier this week. Calls, but they have earned their stripes for sure, and I think the officials done a great job dictating this game with his whistle and not his cards. So, adjustments to be made here by either Coach DeCoux or Coach McKeever. We'll see who gets the best. So it'll be young Harris here that'll stand on top of the G-Claw logo here at the Grizzly soccer field in the second half as they'll start with possession. We wait for the officials' whistle and we're underway. Again, a 4-3-3 attack for GGC. A little different starting lineup from the first half to the second half here. Sanchez, who started at right forward, will actually start at right defensive back for GGC. Across the back, the other three will remain the same. DeCosta, Grohl, Joseph. In the interior midfield, you're looking at Rodriguez and Ang, and Geraldo will get the start instead of Milano here in the second half. And then up top, you're looking at Lugo, Toombs, and I'm missing somebody. Oh, Sissoko, he's up there. Sissoko had dropped back for DeCosta, who made a run out of the back. So up top, Lugo will be the target striker, and the two forwards to the right side will be Toombs, and to the left side will be Sissoko. If I had my John Madden highlighter pen right now, I would touch the screen and circle number 10, James Toombs. That is a special young man right there with extra special speed. Can he use it here tonight? It seems as if the Grizzlies may have found an attack there, trying to target number 15 and William Schoenfeld. So keep an eye on that matchup down at the bottom of your screen here in the second half. Loose ball in the midfield here. Sanchez will clean up. It ricochets off the chest of Violet. Here's Toombs, goes around his defender, goes with the full moon there on Schoenfeld. Now he'll cut baseline on the right foot. Low line drive deflected away. Now he'll drop it back. Rodriguez with some time. He'll retreat back toward midfield. Good sequence there by Toombs. I think that was an adjustment there for Coach DeCoux. And Ang wide to Sissoko. He'll cut back toward the middle. Sissoko looking for a through ball to Lugo. Lugo on the end line here. Left foot denied at point blank range on the cross. Lugo still on the attack here. And we get a whistle and a little bit of an elbow extension there by Sissoko and Lugo, who teamed up. It'll be a foul against the Grizzlies. Free kick for young Harris. Nazi. Nazi really hasn't been tested here in the first half. Had to come off his end line there. Lugo beat him with an excellent placement shot. And again, he caught a line drive from Rodriguez from about 30 yards out, but it wasn't anything special. Not to take away from his talents, but you would really love for the Grizzlies to test him more than once here in the second half. Throw in for Holland. Plays it short to Shazad. Turnover by Sissoko. Up the way to Lugo. Lugo with a guy on his back. Keeps possession. Drops it back to an Ang. Wanted to go wide, but instead he's going to switch to Fields. Places one toward the bleachers here. Toombs keeps it in play. Drops it back to Sanchez. Joseph with plenty of time. Sanchez, errant touch by Toombs, but Geraldo's there to help out. Rodriguez with some heat on the backside. Turns it over. We're in the 50th minute. We're tied at 1. Mentioned it in the first half. We'll elaborate on it here, as the Grizzlies are receiving votes for the 4th week in a row in the NAIA poll, and that's important for multiple reasons. As obviously the Grizzlies gaining the respect of the rest of the coaches in the country there, obviously with an impressive 7-3 record. But why is it important? Because this is the only fallback for the Grizzlies to get into that national tournament. Most teams at this point of the year are trying to warm up for their regular season conference slate. Notice Young Harris, obviously an NCAA school, but has already played 3 conference games. The Grizzlies don't have that luxury of playing a school or playing an opponent in the regular season and have it count toward the conference tournament, which you could cash in the conference tournament toward an automatic bid in the NAIA National Tournament. Grizzlies can do that too at the AI Tournament. The difference is you're not going to know, you're not going to have seen, you're not going to have played, you have no clue who's going to be at that AI Tournament. It's very much a crapshoot, for a lack of a better term. And with Ashford, who's top 5 team in the country, is an independent team, you would assume they would make the trip to Lawrenceville to be a part of that AII tournament. So can you beat a top 5 team to get the automatic bid? It's a tough question. Could be a tough answer as well. So how do you help your cause? Climb that top 25 poll. Get a big win here. Get some road victories, 5 of them in a row in October for the Grizzlies. Climb that top 25 poll. Get in the top 20, top 15, and you'd have yourself a shot at an at-large bid, which is handed out just like any other tournament that you know, the NCAA March Madness tournament. There's automatic bids and at-large bids. We could get one of those at-large bids if we're high enough in the coaches' poll. So it's going to be very important here. Not being in a conference, you really don't know what you're going to get at that Independence Conference, the Independence Tournament in November. Another thing to keep in mind, too, there's a ball played toward the box here, and Nang gives it chase. Loose ball. He battles for it on the carpet. It's going to be taken away by Young Harris as Ozzie comes off his end line. The other part that you need to know about this top 25 poll, say you lose a game like Reinhardt, which we did, okay? That's going to hurt us. It dropped us out of the top 25 poll. Imagine if we were in a conference and we lost to Reinhardt. What would be the big deal if you were 3-1 in conference play versus 4-0? You're still looking at maybe a 2 seed in the conference tournament or wherever it falls you, and you could get a good seeding. So one loss doesn't really hurt you throughout the course of the season. As an independent, every game you have to pretend is a conference game. Every game is a meaningful game. Every game you have to get a good result and play well. Probably that backwards. You need to play well in every game and hopefully get a good result, because one loss could really hurt you. It could drop you out of the top 25. It could drop you out of receiving votes. There's a whistle and a foul. That's going to be an easy call there. As a purple shirt got sandwiched between 2 white shirts, as it was Wiper that was fouled on the play. This will give Young Harris a chance to tee things up for a direct kick. So one game hurts in a loss for GGC, even if it is this one against an NCAA Division II team. So you got to play every game like it's a conference game as an independent. Another thought to keep in mind, 18 games is what you're going to play here. So I know we're 10 games into the season at 7-3, and Ang with a header. I know we're 10 games into the season. We got 8 left. So just the fact that receiving votes, don't count us out of one of those at-large bids. There's a lot of soccer left to be played, and like I said, with 5 road contests, you could really make up some ground in that those RPI standings, which is affected by the coaches poll. So think about the total body of work. You've got 18 games to play, and every game does matter. Every game is important, but at the end of 18 games is going to be seen where you stack up with the rest of the coaches' poll. So today's important, every game's important, but just keep in mind as these records start to balance out a little bit, Rodriguez with a right foot that's wide of the post. Deflected by a purple shin guard, so it'll be a corner kick for the Grizzlies, their third of the game. So what will our resume look like after 18 games? Where will we fit in that coach's poll after 18 games? It's good to keep getting votes, but we need to start climbing, is my point. As this will be Rodriguez who will attempt the corner kick on the far side. 6 white shirts get to the back post. Toombs doing the two-step. Ball played toward the penalty area. Header won by Joseph straight up in the air. Trying to find Gold, cannot. Loose ball at the 18. Cleaned up by Young Harris. Geraldo trying to keep it forward, and he does. As here's Rodriguez toward the box. Plays it in the near post. It's off a purple foot and into Ozzy's hands. And last point I want to make here is each and every poll is important because as you continue to climb, every game is important. Each poll that comes out, it's good to know where the Grizzlies sit with the rest of the competition. As we all received a couple of votes the first time, then we're in the top 25, then we dropped back down to about the 14, 15 votes, if I'm not mistaken, on the September 24th poll. And then the most recent one here now, we sit about 32nd in the country here as you add the votes. So now we're starting to climb. Each and every poll is important to see if the Grizzlies continue to move up. So don't just rub off that September 17th one. We were 24th. That one was important. This one is important. And the next poll that's going to come out every Tuesday, that poll's going to come out, and it's equally important for this Georgia Gwinnett squad. Ball trying to be played by Nang. Header. And Nang is going to be called for a foul. And now Nang is going to need some discipline. The clock will stop, and I believe Nang's going to be booked here for his extracurricular activity, and indeed he was. And so Nang will pick up his third yellow card in the season, tied with Joseph and Toombs with 3 each. And now getting to his feet and seems to be okay. No real limp after what appears to be being stepped on. Center ref's going to come over and talk to the near official. Don't adjust your computer screens there. We adjusted some settings on our camera as the evening turns to dawn here and the dawn turns to night. We have to adjust some of our lighting as we use the natural sunlight in the first half, and now we're just about completely dark and under the lights here at the Grizzly soccer field. Semantics aside here, looks like we're ready to get back after it. 55th minute, still tied at 1. So a quick recap of that NAI soapbox I just had there. Why is the poll so important to the Grizzlies? 1, there's no conference standings. 2, 1 loss is going to hurt you. 1 bad loss is going to hurt you in that poll. Every poll is initially important, and total that end of the year, that final resume, what's it going to look like with 18 games on this schedule. So don't be discouraged that we're 7-3 and just receiving votes. It may be 9-3 and we could crack the top 20. You never know. So don't be discouraged by just receiving votes. That's a good thing that we stay in the conversation. Now you know. Just trying to keep our viewers educated as we move forward here throughout the course of the season. A lot to get to here. A lot of different things these players and coaches and administrators are dealing with, a part of being an NAI institution and first time ever competing for a national championship. There's a lot that goes into it here, and we'll just try to educate you the best we can here on the Grizzly Digital Network. Glad to have you aboard, all of our friends, family, and alumni. Glad to have them back. Grohl plays forward. Nobody there. I think a little miscommunication between him and Sissoko. One ball by Young Harris in the midfield. They keep possession. Ball dropped back toward Ozzie. Lugo applies pressure. Now an errant shot. It's turned over for Rodriguez. Rodriguez plays a through ball. Toombs in space. At the right elbow. Will dribble to the end line. Play to the front post. Scooped up nicely there by Ozzie. I think Toombs would like to have a redo there. I don't think he was looking to go right at Ozzie. He was playing more of a cross than a shot. Quick recap of that October 1st NAIA coaches poll. Milligan, who the Grizzlies defeated 3-0 earlier this year, is receiving votes. Scad Savannah, who the Grizzlies play later on in the year, is receiving votes as well. Auburn Montgomery, who the Grizzlies defeated earlier this year, is the 13th ranked team in the country. And Embry-Riddle, who handed the Grizzlies' first loss of the season 2-0, is now the 21st ranked team in the country. Those teams I just listed, we are huge fans of. Even Embry-Riddle, the higher they get, if you can understand this, the better that loss looks. And as those other teams that we beat continue to climb, those wins look even better. So we're huge fans of those teams to climb that top 25 poll to make those games and that strength of schedule increase even more for Georgia Gwinnett. As also we keep one eyeball on our schedule, we keep another eyeball on the rest of the independents and the potential teams that could come to Lawrenceville by the end of November for the AII tournament. As the aforementioned Ashford is the 5th ranked team in the country for the second week in a row. Cal St. Marcos is receiving votes, as is GGC. Preliminary indications say Houston Victoria is probably one of the other schools that could make an appearance on the men's side as the 4th member of that AII tournament. Don't count out Lindenwood Bellevue, Rochester, or Fisher. And those are 100%, not to confuse fact with fiction, those are 100% guesstimations of who could come here to Lawrenceville. There's 11 independent teams in men's soccer. Could be any of the 3, as obviously we will get an automatic bid to the AII tournament as the host. Abrome will check on for Anang, who seems to be shaken up on the previous play. In the meantime, for Young Harris, they get a sub as well, as Gustafson will step off. Looks like, I think, number 15. No, he's been on here. Number 8, perhaps, Lewis Hilton will step on. Sophomore, 5'8", out of England. Second team all-conference last year. Freshman of the year on the Peach Belt. Ball struck there awkwardly, the 18. Sharp not happy with how much space that Perez had. Perez had the lone goal for Young Harris in this contest, and it's Lugo with the lone goal for GGC. Still tied at 1 here in the 60th minute. As Deuce is wild up there on the scoreboard. 2 shots on goal for both these teams, 2 corner kicks for both these teams. The score is 1-0, a little tassel there. As Geraldo is taken down by Sosa. Free kick for GGC. Long ball played toward Toombs, and it's even too long for him as Ozzie will come get it. Cross toward the back door. Up and over. Now they chase it down to the other backside. They have another cross here. Grohl pokes it away. Lugo trying to find the ball as he runs a circle around Holland. Harris comes away with it. This Young Harris squad is just a fantastic soccer program. You have to give a lot of the credit there to their 8th-year man, And Coach Mark McCreevy making the transition from junior college to a NCAA Division II four-year school. A little bit of a possession here. Too long of a touch. Sharp comes over here and awkwardly punches it out of bounds. He seems to be okay. Throw in for Young Harris. But last year, this Young Harris team, 14 wins, just 4 losses and 2 ties, 5-3-1 in Peach Belt Conference play, and lost in the semifinals of the conference tournament on penalty kicks. This year, 7-1, 3-0 in conference play as they have steamrolled here recently on a 5-game winning streak, 6-0 over Mount Olive, 2-0 over North Georgia, 3-2 over USC Aiken, 3-1 over Flagler, and 3-2 over Carson Newman. North Georgia, USC Aiken, and Flagler are those fellow Peach Belt Conference members that they're 3-0 in. 5-game winning streak for the Mountain Lions as they roll into Lawrenceville. Both these teams looking for the whip as they turn the corner from September to October, going down to the stretch. As both teams battered by injuries, both teams looking at a couple of missed players to injury, suspension, whatever the case may be. A sequence there had Young Harris well off their bench here, and now we're going to get a stoppage in play, and we're going to get a stern yellow card by the official. As I believe he was elbow deep in his pocket there, and I believe he heard something that he didn't. Now the referee is going chest to chest with Young Harris's best player, and Elijah Illick. Young Harris is furious over Ruud Grohl's attempt at clearing a ball as he got contact twice with a purple shirt. First one was just a swing and a miss. Second one might have drew contact. Both of them happened in the penalty area. Young Harris was thinking deja vu all over again with a game-winning penalty kick late in the second half. Check this out. Last year, 67th minute, penalty kick awarded to Young Harris, and they won 2-1. Currently, in the 64th minute, tied at 1. So the referee, little dictation here. Little dictation. We'll try to get order restored here. He was about elbow deep on a card looking for somebody behind him as somebody said something. In the meantime, while they were arguing, the Grizzlies quickly added here. Ball to the air post. Lugo, who couldn't get to it. Tracked down by Brome. Cleared away by Illick. Good move there by Sanchez, but he couldn't keep it in play. Again, approaching the 65th minute here. 1-1 is your score. That would have been a travesty if this game was going to be decided by a penalty kick for the second year in a row. Still a lot of time left. Sanchez with a turnover. Here's a counterattack. This is what we were looking for. Sanchez plays it long all the way to the back post. Looking for Sissoko. Sanchez had a lot of time and space in front of him. Gets shoved off the ball there. Did Sissoko by Holland. Throw in for GGC. That's what we were looking for there. And a counterattack. Brome, Aaron touch, looking for Rodriguez, couldn't connect. Now here's Young Harris. Diagonal ball. Intended for Samzad. Still 1-1. A lot of soccer left to be played here. Now we get a whistle again here, and this will be a foul on the fore side. by the Grizzlies, and now Young Harris knocking on the door again. Two-man wall for the Grizzlies. It'll be a free kick just to the wide side of the right elbow on the far side of the field. Three mountain lions stand over top of it. And now they break the huddle, and it looks like it'll be just two. Well, no, now just one. Three purple shirts go to the back door. Here's a right foot toward the penalty area. Header by Eilick is up and over. Eilick got some separation there and had a good opportunity and just popped it up and over the crossbar. Substitution here for Coach DeCou. As I believe Sharp was trying to play it quickly there, and the referee with indication to slow things down, allow the sub to get on, and Burrowmay will check off. And I'm going to guess that's Sissoko. No, Burrowmay stays on. It just went off. Martin Lugo goes off there as Burrowmay will move to the striking position, as it'll be Sissoko to the left and Toombs to the right. Speed on more speed. And Ang with a tough takedown from behind. Just didn't have the angle. Good challenge. Just come from behind and they get contact and the guy goes down. That's going to be a whistle. Sanchez, blazing speed. Might have got picked off on the hand there too. Might have jammed a finger as Wiper had a high attempt. Eilick wearing the captain's band here. Turns it over. He had a heated conversation with that center official. I'm not saying Eilick wasn't justified in what he had to say, and I don't think by any means he was beyond his right to speak to the official or even his tone. Am I saying is incorrect? Toombs offside. I'm not saying anything he did was wrong by any means. What I am saying, that was the most heated conversation I have seen all season between a player and a referee. And I don't know how many people keep top 10 lists of heated conversations between players and referees, but that was one of the more interesting discussions reading body languages that I've ever seen before. If someone kept a list like top 10 things of the most heated discussions between players and referees, I'd have to nominate that one. We approach the 70th minute, still tied at 1. There's a loose ball for Young Harris. They play it toward the box. Got some space. Joseph comes over, shuts down that space, continues, wins a second ball. And now Geraldo's going to come up with a push, and this is going to be a foul going against the Whites. And Purple will have a nicely placed ball here on the high side of the right elbow from about 22 yards out. Again, a three-man huddle. We'll corral the balls. It'll be a three-man wall. For the Grizzlies, they'll back them up 10 yards. Now Essie will join the wall, make it a four-man wall. All 11 Grizzlies sit inside their own 18. Here's a quick left foot, and it's off the wall. Now here's a faked left foot, now a turf monster by Alex Wipers. He's consumed, but play continues. Here's a ball to the back post, and Sharp. Whew. Looked like he wanted to come out, but it goes off the end line for a goal kick. Nicely done there, Lewis. With where we sit here, high above, I don't know about high above, but we sit above the Grizzly soccer field. The angle that we played, that ball looked a lot closer than what it actually probably was, giving Lewis justice. Sure. He sure looked rather comfortable letting that ball go. It was too close to comfort for me in the angle that we sit at. But I trust you there, Big Lou. 71st minute. Sissoko wins a header. Doesn't have a running mate. Geraldo scrapes that ball off the front of his face, now chases it down. Eilick turns it over. And Ang. Little mini counter. Gets it to Sissoko. Nice left foot. Trying to get around Holland. Keeps it in play. Stands up Holland, cuts back toward the middle. Off the elbow, trying to find an Nang, and he cannot. Ball gets scraped out of the box. Rodriguez picks up the loose change, swings it to the near side, headed down. Heilich plays the ball to the near side. An opportunity for Schoenfield, but he turns it over. Rodriguez now in midfield. Toombs takes off down the right side like a streaking wide receiver looking for a go route. He'll get it, and he was offsides. Poor Toombs wasn't even running. He ran so fast and so far that he stopped and realized he wasn't going to get a long ball, waited for the defense to retreat to where he was, and still it was too long, and he was offside standing still. Is Toombs too fast? I see 4 steps offside there. As now we're going to get another stoppage in play here, and Geraldo, I believe, is going to get booked. Referee's going to go chase down number 19 and show him the card. And again, Juan Geraldo will be booked for a yellow card here. About the 72nd minute. For Geraldo, that'll be his second yellow card in as many games. And total on the season, that'll be Geraldo's second yellow card. Substitution for Young Harris. Out goes their goal scorer, number 6, Homero Perez. Checking in will be number 13. It'll be Ever Menjivar. Menjivar, a 5'8" freshman out of Norcross right here in Gwinnett County. Big thanks to the Atlanta Fire Club with their youth team making an appearance here at halftime. Between the combination of local talent on both these teams and a halftime festivities, created quite the atmosphere here tonight at the Grizzly Soccer Field. Beautiful Saturday night, too. Beautiful Saturday night for football in the fall here at Georgia Gwinnett. We get asked that question all the time. When are you adding football? Our president says we already have football, and I would agree with him. Young Harris with the ball toward the box, and Sharp is there at the front post. Sharp will swing to the near side for Sanchez. Sanchez moving up the field here. Here's a Nang in space to the attacking half. Swings it to the far side. Sissoko on his left foot, cuts back toward the middle. Now on his right, he'll let one go, and it's up and over the crossbar. Sissoko wishes he had that one back too. Things are starting to build here. In the 74th minute. Young Harris has outscored its opponent 16-4 in the second half. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are 3-1 when games are tied at halftime. Don't want to say the O word just yet here, but we're dangerously flirting with an overtime game. And Nang was almost an excellent trap. Was trying to trap and move forward at the same time. Referee is not going to blow the whistle there on Milano. He's going to call the foul that was caused by a Nang. Gave initial advantage, but now we'll negate that thought as the Grizzlies were able to stop possession. And he'll reward Young Harris for the foul. And now Abuame was taken down. And with no ball and all man, this will be another booking here for Young Harris. This one was going to be on Sturesen, sophomore to Sweden. So the cards starting to be handed out here, and again, all of them are justified in my opinion. Clock will stop in the 75th minute. Milano will tee things up here on the near side, about 45, 48 yards out. 6 white shirts will go to the 18-yard box. And Young Harris will hold the line at 18. Ozzie was looking for a push. Milano with a left foot, low line drive to the near post. Never even got there, never had a chance. Milano trying to control possession now. Souvenir heads into the crowd there. Going to have to throw that one back. This isn't baseball. Throwing for Young Harris. Sanchez with a challenge there. Milano regroups. Last touch by Purple, and now it's going to be Abuame in behind the defense. Now he drops it back to Anang. Anang takes on one defender, takes on a second, and now too long of a touch will be a goal kick for Young Harris. Good look there for the Grizzlies now. They've had a couple of good through balls and have got into space. Just really haven't put in a shot on goal with it or put anything behind it. And that throw in there by Sanchez to Essie. And then they had a great run by Johan out of the back. Now here's another through ball by Young Harris. Grohl's going to hit it off the down defender for the Mountain Lions and be rewarded with a throw-in. Sanchez will elect to throw it long. He'll move 15 yards forward and have another throw-in off the head of the Young Harris defender. Nessie trying to turn and run, and he does. Controls it initially, beats one defender. Trying to cuts back to his right, and he can't. Good stop there by Sturson. And now Nang with a dangerous play there. No, excuse me, that was Toombs with the pressure. As Ozzie had to get rid of it quickly. And now a long throw in as Sanchez will hustle forward. Trying to get numbers into the box. 76 minute, long throw in by Sanchez into the penalty area. Straight up in the air to the back post. It'll be scooped up by Ozzie. He'll quickly swing it out to the far side. Grizzlies have numbers back here. No counterattack and a threat. Young Harris will keep possession. Ball played to Eilick. He's a guy you do not want to give any sort of space. He is a masterful goal scorer. As Eilick last year won the Golden Ball Award, first team all-conference member in the Peach Belt, as the conference's leading goal scorer. 19 games, scored 10 goals, and had 9 assists. And Nang with a swing and a miss here, but now he's going to use his speed to try to get to the end line, and he will win it. Anang circling his defender, now into the box, stops, turns, gets stuffed. Good clean takeaway there by Sturgeon. Anang was just off balance. And now Joseph with a late slide tackle there. Got a little preempted there as Joseph went through the Mountain Lion player there. He's slow to get up, trying to be a little dramatic about it, maybe trying to get Alex a card. But the referee quickly points him in the right direction, as Alex Wiper was the one fouled. Not a bad idea there by Wiper. A little gamesmanship. Young Harris with possession. 78th minute. Ball to the back door. DeCosta's there with the header. Now throw in for Young Harris. Rolls, squirts one out to the far side there. Headed toward Sissoko. DeCosta denies the pass. Now he'll chase down the loose ball. Keeps it in play. Keeps possession. He's got a defender on his back, clipping at his heels. Spins away. DeCosta keeps moving forward. Milano with the ball's his feet around midfield. He'll play it to DeCosta. He's onside and in business. DeCosta will play the ball on his left foot. One time cross to the penalty area. Nobody home. Essie with a flick up. No good. Essie with a bad settle there. Instead of going down, it went straight up in the air. Burome could have had the game-winning opportunity. Play continues here. There's a couple of jerseys tassel on the ground there. And now it'll be a throw-in, I believe. Perhaps a penalty. Yes, indeed. I believe dangerous play ruled on the ground there. Essie had some space with an arm's reach to the defender. Had his touch on his left foot, and it popped straight up in the air. Sanchez gets in front of a pass here. Now a loose ball toward Young Harris. A little two-stepping at the 18-yard box. And now they swing things around. Rodriguez gets the deflection around midfield. Keeps it in bounds. Drops it back. Sissoko. Milano. Switches to Toombs. Toombs settles. Drops it back to Sanchez. Wisely moved. Wise move by the freshman Aaron Toombs. 80th minute here. We're tied at 1. Who's going to be the hero? Or are we headed to overtime? So far on the season, Young Harris is 0-1 in overtime games, having lost in double overtime to Anderson by a score of 2-1 on September 11th. Meanwhile, your Grizzlies seem to be seasoned in overtime games. So far this year, they've played in a pair of them, having the double overtime winner against Scad Savannah 3-2 on September 13th, and then the overtime loss to Reinhardt at 2-1. Now Toombs battles for a ball off the end line here, and it'll be a corner kick to the near side for Georgia Gwinnett. Can they capitalize? Where's my Madden pen? Let's circle number 3 and number 6. Ruud has been spectacular this season on winning headers off of corner kicks. He's netted 4 goals on the year, and I'm pretty sure 3 of them are off of set pieces and corner kicks. Mass numbers forward. Anang will streak short. Rodriguez will play it to the back post. Nobody home, and even Ozzie gambled a little bit coming off his end line. And nobody home on the back post. Throw in for Young Harris will allow a sub to step on. Out goes Wiper. And checking back in the goal scorer in Perez. Nang settles, but he turns it over. Now he pokes it up forward there. Nobody home. Right at midfield will be Shamzad. Plays to the far side. Now back toward the middle. Long cross toward the left elbow. Trying to settle off his chest. Saves it from out of bounds, but he turns it over to Stressefin. Sanchez gets it into the attacking half. Toombs. Loose ball to Essie. And Essie is a half a step off sides. Essie was stopped and planted, facing toward the ball. Right foot was onside, his left foot was off, standing still. Long touch there by Alec. That's where he can be dangerous. So strong on the ball, so skilled with the ball. Tried to settle and shoot, but the settle was too long and gave Sharp enough time to come out. Sharp will boot it forward. Nobody home to win that header. Milano should have been called for the handball there, but play on awarded as Young Harris has the ball. DaCosta pokes it away. 83rd minute. Long ball played down the far sideline. DaCosta's there defensively. This is Shazad. Tries a weave, gets across to the near post, and Joseph is there to head it away. Rodriguez turns with time. Plays it to the near side. Toombs. Toombs with a touch. Toombs with pressure. Drops it back to Sanchez. Sanchez will play along. Just kicks it literally as far as he can. Essie in behind the defense. Goes in strong. Touched away there by Ozzie just outside the box with his foot. Milano Trying to turn the corner, too long of a touch there, and he can't keep it in play. Milano wants that one back. Thought he could use his speed and the angle to turn the corner. Had neither. Toombs loses it. Well, now, temporarily. A little do-si-do there with Sosa. Grizzlies in the midfield. Another attempt on a through ball. Grizzlies are getting closer and closer and closer, not only to their target, but also getting to their target on the through ball attempt. Can they get the game winner here? 84th minute. Sanchez. Down the right wing with plenty of time. Sizes things up and he'll drop it back to Joseph. Goal forward to Milano. Milano with the left. Down to Sissoko. Chest trap, keeps it in play. Trying to beat his defender. Advantage, play on here. Rodriguez into the attacking third. Plays it to the wide side. Toombs at the elbow. Toombs with the right foot. And he crossed it toward, I'm not sure where. Toombs with a terrible touch there. It might have landed somewhere in Athens. Unfortunate for the freshman there. He'll learn. As now young Harris will get a sigh of relief with a goal kick. Anang, vicious header one. Gets it to Toombs. Toombs shields his body. Excellent work. Toombs, ball at his feet. Flicks it to Aburume. On business. The right elbow. Loses it. Now battles. Young Harris comes away with it. Perez turns it over. Milano gets it. Milano beats one defender, but not the second, but he's taken down by Perez. 85th minute. Looks like Alex Joseph's going to tee this one up just inside midfield. Plays it short to Sanchez. Sanchez, long ball, switching the field from midfield to the left elbow. No help. Ruud goes with the left foot. Nobody home for GGC. Ball won by Eilick. Dumped it off to the right side. DaCosta, great slide tackle in. Last touched by purple, and DaCosta, who knew exactly where he slid that ball and who hit it the last, gets a great individual effort in a throw-in for the Grizzlies. Quick sub there as Aburume steps off and Lugo returns. Lugo, the goal scorer from the 10th minute. Scored his second goal in 2 games. Can he pick up the game with here? Grohl with a swing and a miss there and got lucky that Sharp was able to help out. But Lugo's picked up 2 goals in 2 games. Now leads the team with 2 game-winning goals next to Ibrahima Sissoko. Here's Anang. Through ball to Toombs. Toombs at the right elbow. In behind the defense. Stops. Turns to his left foot. Cuts it across. Oh, intended for Anang, but it's cut off and knocked out of balance for a throw-in. That was the marvelous idea there by Toombs, and Anang, who was streaking in from outside the penalty area, was 2 feet away from being able to put a right foot on that ball from about 15 yards out. Excuse me, more like 12 yards out. Would have been in the mouth of the goal, too. Lugo's going to take this corner kick with the left foot on the near side. An in-swinger all the way to the back post. Anang with a header, and it's wide. 88th minute. 1-1 your score. 3 shots on goal for both these teams. GGC with 3 corner kicks. 2 Young Harris's 2. We're tied at 1. Same score we had at halftime. Same score we have with 2 minutes left. And Nang just rises above everybody else and wins that beautiful header, but almost gets called for almost like over the back in basketball. He's too athletic and gets called for that foul. Quickly, Young Harris unable to handle it there on the chest trap by number 2, Sturson. Now here comes GGC the other direction. Toombs wins the ball, and now he's going to lose it. Rodriguez late to get to the party, and he'll be taken down. And it'll be a foul on Young Harris. 90 seconds left in this game as it looks like GGC will be able to get numbers forward, but the referee is literally going to stop this contest with 88 seconds left. Oh, scary moment there. We thought perhaps German Rodriguez was going to be hurt on the play. He gets up with a severe limp, but at least he's not severe enough to be hurt to step out. So Lugo with a direct kick here from about 45 yards out. 6 white shirts go to the back post. Lugo to the near post. Joseph in behind the defense, battles with Ozzie. Can't keep it in play there. Ozzie is going to tightrope the near sideline there. Chase down Joseph as he was 12 yards wide of his goal. But in the penalty area, and now it'll be a goal kick. For Young Harris. Exactly 1 minute to play. We're in the 90th minute.
1 minute remaining.
Ozzie will get this all he can with the right foot. Header won by Nang. Didn't go too far. Milano with a header forward. Won by Young Harris. We saw Young Harris sneak a goal in right before halftime, but the horn saved the day. And the horn came before the goal, ball going into the goal. Grizzlies lost focus. It's deja vu all over again. 30 seconds left. Young Harris getting numbers forward. Standing over top of it is Hilton. 7 purple shirts into the box. Lewis directing traffic. 20 seconds to play. Hilton, right foot towards Sharp. Sharp will rise above everybody else and use every inch of that 6'6" frame to hold on to this one. 10 seconds left. Sharp's going to give it the boot. But just like in the first half, the horn will make it official. So that'll be your first regulation here between Young Harris and Georgia Gwinnett. We are tied at 1, and we are headed to overtime. Both these teams will have an opportunity to regroup, meet with their coaching staffs, and make another round of adjustments. So redemption on the mind of the Grizzlies as Young Harris won this contest 2-1 last year, and now these two teams are headed to overtime. Or are they? Coach Taku is all the way out on the field here, and I believe that's going to do it. They're going to shake up here. No overtime here, as this one's going to end in a draw. So I do believe, with this having something to do with NCAA versus an NAIA team, both these coaches agreed that the overtime would not benefit either one of these teams. Let's play 90 minutes and call it good. So we'll get that answer from Coach Taku here in just a moment. We'll have him on the broadcast. But it is indeed final. Georgia Gwinnett won. Young Harris won. The 11th ranked team in the NCAA Division II comes to Lawrenceville and gets a draw versus an NAIA Georgia Gwinnett team who is receiving votes. So the draw will be the first of the year for both these teams. Young Harris will now be 7-1-1 on the year. Meanwhile, Georgia Gwinnett will be 7-3-1. First draw for either one of these teams in 10-plus games played. Young Harris will move forward from here as they will go back to the Peach Belt Conference a week from today on October 12th and take on Francis Marion at 4 o'clock at home. Meanwhile, for Georgia Gwinnett, it'll be quite some time before we see them back here in Lawrenceville. As a matter of fact, it'll be the month of November. 5 games in a row throughout the remaining October schedule in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Greenville, South Carolina, Cleveland, Georgia, Montreat, North Carolina, and Lebanon, Tennessee. As the Grizzlies will go on the road here and try to improve that RPI and keep the momentum going in the right direction here. Even though this is a draw, this will be a one worth learning about for Georgia Gwinnett, as probably a shade disappointed here. However, the Grizzlies come over to thank the wonderful fans in attendance here tonight. As a great crowd that we did have. As you see Alex Joseph there, the celebratory water bottle shower there of a teammate. But Alex and a Brewer mate probably a little birthday week spoiled. Perhaps a win would have capped off an excellent way to get a year older versus young Harris and avenge that loss from last year. But nonetheless, you get a draw here, and I'm really curious and interesting to see how Coach Taku takes this this contest. You can probably build on it, but it's going to be one of those games where you go, we could have won, we could have lost, we got a draw, and how do you move forward from here? Is this a coachable moment? Is this a teachable moment? Or is this a stern, disciplined father moment that you could have taken advantage of the situation? So we'll find out from Coach Taku here in just a couple of moments. But again, we appreciate all our friends, family, and alumni here on the Grizzly Digital Network, live on our website at www.grizzlyathletics.com. Please get on the conversation. Look us up on Facebook. Search for the page. You know what to do. Like the page. Get all the updates throughout the course of the year right on your Facebook news feed. Also find us on Twitter. Use the hashtag Grizzly Athletics to get in on the conversation. I think we're even on Instagram too, whatever that is. So find us on Instagram too. Look at all the cool pictures that we have here of our wonderful facilities here at Georgia Gwinnett. And so we take a look at our final stats here. As again, the final score 1-1. Young Harris, the 11th ranked team in NCAA Division II, versus NAI receiving votes, Georgia Gwinnett. In total, 16 players were used for Young Harris, just 14 for Georgia Gwinnett. It was 8 shots for the Mountain Lions to 5 for the Grizzlies. Both teams had 2 shots on goal, both of those coming in the first half. Both goalkeepers had 1 save, and those came in the first half as well. 18,000 total by Georgia Gwinnett, 7 for Young Harris. 4 corner kicks for the Grizzlies, 3 for the Mountain Lions. As again, our scoring summary, Martin Lugo. It says here unassisted, but we might have to go back and watch the tape and see if Johan might have picked up an assist for him. But Martin Lugo picked up his 6th goal of the season in the 10th minute. Sort of a one-on-one opportunity, got in behind the defense, had a well-placed ball as Ozzie was well off his line and put it into the back of the net for the first goal of the game. And then just 5 minutes later, Young Harris answered with the equalizer. It was Kevin Sosa who got a rebound to the right of the goal, played it back toward the 18, and it was Homero Perez picking up his first goal of the season. And he just beyond the reach of Lewis Sharp and just inside that left post for a 1-1 draw. Yellow cards were handed out in bunches in the second half, just 1 in the first half, and that was to Holland. But in the second half, 2 Grizzlies picked up a booking, one of them by a Nang, his 3rd of the season, the other by Geraldo, his 2nd of the year. And then lastly, in the 74th minute, it was Sturson who picked up a yellow card. 5 offsides called here for Georgia Gwinnett, none for Young Harris. And about as predictably so here, a great contest between these two teams who are very familiar with themselves. Intensity was high, emotions maybe even higher, but a very competitive game today, very competitive contest, which we thought the Grizzlies would try to use their speed, try to be ultra aggressive. Young Harris was the possession type team. That's exactly what they did, and all things equal, after 90 minutes, as both teams will pick up their first draw of the season. We appreciate all of our friends, family, and alumni that have tuned in here to the Grizzly Digital Network. We see Coach Taku trying to make his way up here to the production tent, and great crowd on hand, too. A lot of local products for both these squads. And so Coach Taku doing some glad handing as well. A couple of alumni in the building, too. So it's never an easy path from your coaching bench to up here in the production tent, but I'm sure we'll change that once we get a press box or some technology, one or the other here. So Coach Taku on his way up here, and we appreciate everybody stay tuned here to the Grizzly Digital Network to hear his post-game comments here. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday evening for soccer here. Temperatures never got above 85 and never got below 77, so not in all, not too bad of a job by good old Mother Nature. So now we're joined by head men's soccer coach Steve DeCoux. Coach, a draw. What are your thoughts?
It's a good result. Number 11, Division II. We left a lot of chances out there, but at the end of the day, you're going to look back on this one favorably because this is going to help us in the polls a bit. If they continue, they're like us. They've got a couple injured players. They actually had 2 starters that weren't playing today through suspension. So, if they can do well in conference, this will very much help us as we look for the RPI, and that's what it's all about at this point.
I love watching you on the sideline. You're very even-keeled with your players. You don't get too high, don't get too low. You instruct very well at times. But without a doubt, in our young professional relationship here that you and I have that will grow many, many years down the road, the most excited or tempered I've seen you so far right before halftime. What was your disappointment?
That's the worst we've played this year. I'm glad. You think I'm even tempered. I try to have that on the sidelines, but I lit them up over there in the corner. Thank goodness the guys on the board had the music just blaring because I was able just to it was bad. It was bad. So the shape in the midfield, everything about it was just off. We were lucky to get out of there. I mean, for the chances we created, we were lucky to get out of there 1-1. But I felt in the second half we made those adjustments better, tightened up the midfield. We were able to control a little bit more. Ibra and I thought James Toombs really, when he learns his body to catch up to his brain,
yes,
he's going too fast at times.
Yes, I said that.
I wish I had that problem. My goodness, he can fly, and so but James did a great job today. Really was getting around the corner well. Yeah, his delivery's got to improve a little bit, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Why only 90 minutes?
Honest truth.
Sure.
Neither coach trusted the referee. We were afraid on this. They've got conference coming up. We've got a stretch of the away games for both teams. This is beneficial.
And from an outsider's perspective too, when you take your outside, this isn't an out of conference or out of league. This is really an outside your realm competition between the NCAA Division school and NAIA school. You play an overtime game here, and somebody goes away with a loss. That's going to be really bad for either one of these programs. So, after 90 minutes, they're only playing 90 minutes here. 1-1's not all bad for everybody included.
No, they're with their ranking. That was my thought. The coach knows that we're in the top 30, and so he's looking at that. If we can start to get in the rankings, that just helps him. With our as they calculate their RPI, with our winning percentage, that'll be beneficial. So both coaches, I'll be honest, we're looking at it a bit strategically as it'll help them with postseason, but I know Dr. Wilson doesn't want us to talk about referees, but there was just so much inconsistencies out there tonight that both, if you saw me, it was about, I was actually kind of, before the game we talked about it, and then we kind of looked at each other with about 15 minutes to go and said, great idea.
Yeah.
So I walked down and talked to him in the middle of the game, and he's like, yeah, we definitely glad we decided on this. So.
Well, Coach, gas up the bus. Good luck in October. 5 road games in a row. It's going to be a while before we talk to you again, or at least have you guys back on air. What can you really gain? What are you really looking forward to by playing in some tough environments, going a long, long way, a lot of different states, a lot of ground you're going to cover here?